everybody. How are you this evening? We are back, the Fabulous Four, known to you as Brown Sugar Confessions, coming to you every Wednesday night on Power 1017. I am Doc Val, and I am known as your resident sexologist, sexual scientist, researcher, etc., etc. And I'm super excited to be with you guys tonight. So let's go down and talk to these beautiful ladies here. Miss T, what's up with you, love?
I had a bout of food poisoning last week, so thankful that that's done and over with. Outside of that, I am looking forward to the weekend. I got a gig at one of the restaurants
All right,
here, and I can't wait to go shake it with my fellow
fabulous
people.
back there. I'm loving the hair. If you haven't done so, you guys need to be on YouTube at Brown Sugar Confessions at YouTube. We're everywhere. Like and subscribe. Because Miss T has some of the most glorious, do you call them locks or dreads, by the way? Locks. Like down to her butt
I
locks.
call them
and
locks.
Now she's got them all curled up. They're super cute. Ooh, you're looking awfully good down there. And of course, we have the ever-flowing, effervescent, the perfection of Treese, looking like a girl, that color. I don't even know the color. It's like a lion's mane. I mean, it's glorious. How are you in New York, love?
I'm doing amazing. It is 80 degrees here.
80.
Look, booty shorts.
Yeah.
Booty shorts came out.
Finally.
Half shirts came out. Flops came out. I'm living the dream. And I got to, you don't know what a luxury is, what it is to have a luxury of being able to walk your own backyard naked.
Go ahead, girl. Talk to us about it. So you ain't got no neighbors. You walking out there butt naked.
Well, the neighbors are far, and I live up on like a mountain top kind of thing, so I can walk a whole 2 acres butt naked. I love it.
Nice. Go ahead, baby girl. Well, you're looking like you already had some sun out there. I wonder where those tan lines are, but we're not going to talk about your tan lines. You ain't got none. Because you're butt naked walking around New York. You need to cut your mess out. It was too cold out here, KD, wasn't it, in Delaware to be walking around butt naked?
So, yeah, I'm here living the dream in the ever so sunny and lovely Wilmington, Delaware. We currently have partial clouds with a chance of rain.
Look. Y'all did not notice, and we didn't know until like 20 minutes ago that KD is weather certified. I don't even know what that means, but whatever. Okay.
That means she should be our weather.
All that means
she should be given the weather.
At some point in my life, not today, I used to know every single solitary type of cloud, how to determine visibility, and can tell you, I can still tell you this, is what visibility is like. If there's a low ceiling or if it's so little visibility that you can only see a mile away, 5 miles away, 10 miles away. I kind of have a good idea of that, but don't ask me anything else because I don't remember them.
Those are survival goals.
So everything is absolutely dull here in Wilmington, Delaware. It's like we have like one day or two where we get some nice weather. Getting really close to wanting to change my clothes out. Like, have you guys taken your spring clothes out yet? Have you taken your summer clothes? I haven't. I took a couple of items
all of
out
my clothes
of my
run the same way.
storage bins, but I'm like, nah, I'm not quite ready to put the sweaters away because every time I get close to putting the sweaters away, we get like a 30-degree night. But I'm looking forward. We are getting towards June. It's like almost June, y'all. Like summer's almost over. Like it ain't even started yet. The summer's almost over. Like,
don't even say that.
I swear, the second June gets here, it's like summer's over. It's so fast. It's a blink of an eye.
What are you talking about? Oh,
Atlanta has summer for like 8 months out of the year or so. So did you guys hear, I know pretty much everyone's aware of what's happened at this point, but I'm assuming you all heard about that corrections officer who was in trouble for running away with one of her inmates. Y'all remember that? When I first heard about it, I wasn't even sure if it was a prison break or if she was kidnapped. I don't know if they knew off the top, but did you guys hear like all about that?
No. So fill us in. So tell us the story.
The way I remember hearing about it was that, they just knew these two had disappeared. They got out of jail after she was supposed to take him to some sort of visit. They went on a run. I don't know if they even thought from the beginning whether or not she was kidnapped, but I think they all kind of knew something was going on. So apparently these two had a romantic relationship, and they came up with a scheme together to break out. Now, the real thing that makes her the real kind of dumb criminal of the year is that, unfortunately, he did get out, but was caught, and she ended up seemingly committing suicide or accidentally killing herself. And she did not make it out of this alive. Ladies, you got to be careful. Don't, like, I just want to know, was the eggplant that good? Like, 'cause how good does the eggplant have to be for you to commit a prison break and pretty much kill yourself in the process? Like, no.
I want to just say one thing. It's not that the eggplant is good. What it is that these people are locked up 24/7, and they can devote whole 24/7 hours to you.
Yes.
And if you're lonely, and if you're lonely and
ain't got nothing but time,
start getting attention like that, and if you're not hot like us and you ain't never got attention like that, you're gonna be like, what is this? And you're gonna go bananas, and you will be willing to ride and or die for that, and not even ask if there's tacos in between somewhere. You just
I mean, there's gotta be tacos. There's gotta at least tacos.
We do need tacos.
But yeah, if you're not used to that, and this person, they do it, both jails, starts giving you that tension 24/7 and is calling you and texting you, because I didn't even know they had cell phones in jail, but they do.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, on TikTok they
somehow
go crazy
they all over on TikTok. Mm-hmm.
And if they start giving you that attention, people start confusing attention with love real quick.
Right.
Real quick.
Yeah. That's true. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, they've got nothing but time, so they're giving you their attention. When you're there, they're making you feel beautiful and sexy. And I could see some correctional officers, okay, I like what I'm receiving. And speaking of correctional officers, I want to give a shout out to a local prison in one of our states. I'm not going to say which one because I don't know if they should be listening. I'm not going to say which one. But to the prison and the prisoners that are listening to Brown Sugar, we got your emails. There's a lot of them coming through. We appreciate them. I'm not going to spill the tea to say which prison it is. I want to say keep it going. I think I want to say that. But we love y'all. Keep it going. So,
we appreciate the attention, y'all. We appreciate the attention.
Like, they're coming from where? We love you for listening, whether you're supposed to or not. And moving on. So, Katie, ask you a question. Are they still on the run, or are they picked up by now?
No, unfortunately, they are both. He has been detained, and she has passed away.
What did she die from? Eggplant?
Yeah, you missed that part. She was saying that.
You gotta understand. She legitimately ride or died, or ride and actually died. So, rest in peace to a real one, because she definitely wins the ride or die woman of the year.
She was with it all the way, and unfortunately, she did not make it through. So
it was that.
It was the whole Bonnie and Clyde.
I was looking at these emails from the prisoners, and I was all confused. So I apologize, Katie, but that's horrible. Speaking of dying, dang, y'all got some good segues tonight. Speaking of dying,
dang,
I said what I said.
Dang,
like a brick wall.
Right into that. We walked right into that.
Who don't know that Kevin Samuels is dead? Raise your hand. Right. So it was a huge shock to many people that Kevin Samuels died, I think last Thursday, right? It was around 8 or 9, I forget the time, I'm not going to put out the time, but apparently it was from a cardiac arrest. He was with a young lady. He died on top of her, is the rumor mill. Now there's a lot of rumors going around.
That's actually not alleged. That's not alleged. That is confirmed.
Right?
Yes.
So that's a whole Color Purple moment.
On top of her per se, I think she could be adjusting a little bit, but she actually said that, and this has actually been confirmed with police reports. Like I've seen the police reports with my own eyes, that he fell on top of her. Like he just like was holding his heart and fell on top of her. So they kind of leave it in a way where it's like you are not exactly sure what was happening at the time, but we all probably know what was happening at the time. Yeah,
me too.
I'm going with that too.
I'm going with the color purple.
So for those of you that know who Kevin Samuels is, he is a YouTuber, an Instagram star with millions of followers. He is known to be a man that really talks negatively about Black women. And, we don't talk about race on Brown Sugar because we like to keep it light and happy and healthy. But tonight, we're going to go there in this conversation. Because if you haven't noticed, if you go to YouTube, by the way, you need to know that we are Black. Not that it matters for this show, but we're going to talk about it. Being Black women, listening to a Black man that was actually not speaking very favorably, and I'm putting it very mildly, about Black women. Ladies, what do you guys think about Kevin Samuels? Let's talk about it.
I don't know what you want me to say. Yeah,
Ooh.
that's it. God don't like
I don't like ugly.
What?
I don't like ugly. Whether you believe in him or not, you call it God don't like ugly, you call it karma, call it whatever you want. But yeah, I feel like energy got balanced out right before the eclipse.
I think one of the things that he said, and there's a lot, if you go on YouTube and especially on Instagram right now, that they have little clips of him everywhere, and on TikTok about he had like not a dating show, but like a lifestyle show, more or less. Yeah. Is that what it kind of was? That.
He was more like an influencer for people who were trying to, I guess, come up in, I don't want to say status, but image. He was an image consultant. That's what they call it.
A name he gave himself after he started his channel, I'm just going to say.
Exactly. I don't know if he was an image consultant. He was a self-proclaimed relationship guru. So he did get a huge following.
He influenced a bunch of people.
I remember one of the episodes that he spoke about, I guess it was one before he died actually, where he said that any Black woman or any woman past the age of 35 that was not married was a leftover woman. That was absolutely ridiculous. And it was mean. And, his mother is still with him. He has a daughter, by the way. I saw one of her clips. She was talking about her dad. But I think to come out and actually say that for a woman to be single at 35 years old, that she's a leftover woman. I think of all the things that I've heard Kevin say, that's probably I don't want to talk ill about the dead. No, I don't want to do that. That's not fair.
Let's do.
I don't want to talk ill about the dead, Teresa. I really don't, but that just irritated the crap out of me.
That was the least bad thing he said.
Yeah.
So what do you guys?
Yeah, that was the least.
So what bothered you?
That
guys
was probably
most?
like
that
mild.
Me the most. What bothered you guys?
The one thing that really bugged me was the fact that he would anytime a woman goes on a show, I don't know why they called. That's the part that was still just, I don't get why so many women called, and a lot of people they watch the show, they know how mean he is, and they still hop on with a look that he's going to go after. Anytime a woman hops on, they'll do a lot of times, they'll do the close up. I'm getting close to the microphone and you get the idea. So you don't really see their whole body. So he'll ask, they'll be asking so I have a degree and I've done and I have kind of got a nice job and I got myself settled and I really want to know, what do I need to do to just find a perfect mate or whatever right now? And he's like, ma'am, none of that stuff matters. None of that stuff matters. Look. What's your height? What's your dress size? And then if the woman said, that she was over 140 pounds, he would then press a button where it would go bark, bark, or something like that, basically saying or a elephant or something like that noise, basically saying that she was overweight. Or they would do this one sound, doo-doo, 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 basically saying that she's an overweight kind of person. To me, to do something like that with a person on the phone, basically calling them names to their face with animatronic sounds and stuff like that, I thought was just I I know these women's spirits had to be crushed. You could literally see their spirits being crushed on camera. The men would then hop on his channel and just go in and talk about Big Shirley and Big Elephant and its walrus and all these other things. And to allow and create an environment where that is the norm, to me, was one of the things. Like their entire channel was literally about, after a certain point, just crushing women's spirits. Even people that are considered to be conventionally pretty, they truly got a kick out of crushing women, especially Black, especially darker, and especially if you're not skinny and fitting the European standards of beauty. So, yeah, no, he got pretty ugly on his channel. Much uglier than telling someone who's 35 that they're leftover. That was, like she said, that was lightweight compared to some of the things I've actually heard.
That was mild for you too. What about him that really did kind of bother you?
Man, I tried to not pay attention to that dude as much as I can. And I remember going over to one of my guy friends' house and he was actually watching it. And I'm like, bro, you really watch this dude? And he was sitting there saying he watched it for entertainment purposes. But now I kind of I still look at him suspiciously just because I know you watch it. But, people are going to watch whatever they watch. But in terms of his content, yeah, he did a lot of bullying. It was more of bullying culture to me. He really wasn't constructive in anything. It was when he was one of those people that let me tear you down and keep you down so that I can manipulate you into what I want you to be. Not in a way, he wasn't really constructive in, from what I saw of him. That alone turned me off to his message, even if he had a good message, because I think I saw one clip where he was actually going in on a guy. He was going in kind of hard, but it was either way, and I know it's for entertainment purposes, we tend to go for the real messy, real, if it's not violent in the mind, it's violent physically type stuff. I don't know. I just didn't really have a good taste for him in general. Then on top of that, a lot of his stuff where he was talking, a lot of it was directed to people that look like me. I check off all the boxes to be an unwanted woman. Does not matter. I check off all the boxes, but the thing is, I'm still able to pull somebody should I want to pull somebody. And a lot of these women are pretty much able to pull anybody, doesn't matter what their size was, that was on that show. And the thing is, I don't understand why you have to be a certain size when a lot of these people will still want to be in a relationship with you no matter what size you are. But now it's they have to hide the fact that they might like a person of a bigger body type because it's not socially acceptable. And I don't like that. That's just me.
That's crazy to me. I don't like any of it. Oh, go ahead, Kitty.
No, I was just going to comment on something she said. And she was saying that he went in on a guy. And one of the things that I've noticed, and I think a lot of people are bringing up right now, is that he started off, his channel didn't used to be about this. Unfortunately, in the circle of what they call the manosphere, especially the Black manosphere, there's a lot of people on there that are very angry and disgusted with Black women. And
so explain what the manosphere is. You mentioned that word before. Explain that.
I was about to say, we've talked about this on the show a while ago, I believe.
What the manosphere is.
So the manosphere is a YouTube world, so to speak. And I think it kind of extends to some of the other social media channels, but specifically YouTube, where men kind of congregate and discuss what they consider to be man issues. So and specifically the Black manosphere, as they call it, they're typically talking about their woes and how they feel as if they are being shorted, so-called, in life. So they'll spend a lot of time talking about women in general and better ways to get women, better ways to make yourself better so you can get women. They'll talk about the types of women that they want and why they want them and all this stuff. And it gets really ugly because a lot of them are very much into trying to date outside, so to speak. They spend a lot of time bashing Black women. This is a very common thing to do within what they call the Black manosphere. And in the manosphere in general, they just like bashing women because the manosphere is of all races. They have kind of a white manosphere. I found an Asian manosphere. There's also a Latino manosphere. So there's manospheres probably of every culture. I don't know all of them, but those are some of the different cultures and people that I've seen. And a lot of times, one of the things that's the common denominator is that they really are sick of what they call feminism and women kind of ruling the world, so they think. They want it back to the good old days. They do.
They want it back to the good old days.
House, which we can talk about that later because that's also apparent. With him, he actually did not start off with women bashing. Like his channel started off as like showing guys what colognes to wear and what aftershave to put on and how to better dress. That didn't get him likes or shares. So when that didn't work, he started kind of going in on guys. No likes or shares. He went famous for saying mean stuff to women. And once he saw that and realized that that's what got him likes and that's what gave him popularity and that's what gave him 1 million followers, he stuck with it. So unfortunately, there is a market and now there's a wide opening for people to try to replace him. And people are trying already to focus on attacking us, unfortunately.
That is so sad. Go ahead, Therese.
I just want to say a few things. One, you don't speak ill of the dead if they led a good life. That's it. If you've been ugly in life, what we're saying is not a lie. It's the truth about you. To bounce off what Katie said, he's how I see him as an ultimate hypocrite because he did not start out bashing women. He started out saying, you know, guys, maybe you should treat your woman better, or maybe try to do this or set up a date. I know. And then when he did not get the likes, did not get the monetary support, he found out, just like most people found out, that if you start bashing women, specifically Black women, that's where your dollars are. That's where your dollars and your likes are. So for him even talking, I literally did not see anything but a real homemade clown. That was it. I just saw a clown.
Yeah, but for right now, it is time for us to pay some bill, guys. So we are going to have to come and revisit this after we take some commercial breaks, pay some bills. So everybody stick with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Brown Sugar Confessions here on Power 117. It is us, the Fantabulous Four, Doc Val, KD, Tracy, myself, Miss T. Welcome back. I hope you guys got your drink, got your potty break, because we are going straight into it. But before we do, if you have any questions for us, if you have any confessions, because we haven't had a good one in a minute, give us a confession at brownsugarconfessions@gmail.com. If you want to confess to Doc Val solely because she is the wonderful, nurturing sex therapist, researcher, consultant that she is, contact her at Valerie, VALERIE, at Swan Center. That's Swan with 2 N's, center.com. So make sure you get those emails into us, and we will be ready to listen and hopefully talk about your confession. But before we go into anybody else's confession, I think Tracy has a confession or a hot topic. One of the two. Hot topic.
All right. So we're going to talk about being supportive of your family members, your friends, just anybody in society, your kids, right? So Jared Carmichael shares how coming out as gay impacted his bond with his mom. He did this on the Howard Stern show maybe about 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And he said this: me and my mom have a God-sized wall between us. You know, that's an impossible thing to navigate, he said, citing his mom's deep ties to Christianity. But for Carmichael, Christianity became a source of self-hate and ultimately kept him in the closet longer. That was, for him, he said, very destructive to not only his mental, but his physical state. He said, I'm just trying to trust fall into this new interpretation of the religion because he does find value in it. Like, I haven't completely let go of it, and I'm trying to interpret it for me. And I've been trying to get my mother to come to some kind of type of openness for her interpretation, and it's hard. It's a tricky thing because people, my mother, not just people, but my mother hold religion so close to her, especially through rough times. She grew up in the projects and she recognized that when she needed God for every step of her life, that he was there. So she finds it hard to just abandon what she's learned in church for what her child is. She didn't account for having a gay son. She thought he would grow up and marry a woman and do the typical, well, I don't want to say typical or normal, but just what is expected of cis society.
Right.
I can feel for her being lost and I want to work with her, but talking to her and not acknowledging the parts of myself reverberate self-hate. And I can't afford that right now. So I have to distance myself. For me, as a mom, hearing that, it hurts me. My 2 children came out to me, but as a mom, I'm going to be completely honest. I knew what my kids were. I knew, like when they came out to me, they were like, can we talk? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Let's talk. And they came out and I was like, that's it. And they looked at me and they were like, what do you mean that's it? I was like, oh, I thought you were going to say something weird. And they were like, you don't care. And I was like, babe, I knew.
Right.
I knew. And they were just like, well, what do you want to do now? And I'm like, I have butt-free chaps ready to go to the Pride March. Like, let's do it. Like, what are we talking about here? Yeah. Yeah.
Wait. What? Okay.
We're on the radio.
Sorry. Wait a minute.
But I can see
we're on the
how
radio.
self-hate can really affect him. And I'm sorry that he's going through this. And I hope him and his mother can come to a healthy conclusion for the both of them. And they can both find healing and loving relationship. But it is important. We have to talk about this. If we're talking about Kevin Samuels and all this stuff, your friends see you, who you support, and what you align yourself with. They are either secretly like, yeah, let's get it, or they are realizing that you are not a safe person for them. And you have to recognize that. And you can't sit here and say, but I don't hate this and that. But these are the things that you have said that led me to believe this about you, A, B, C, and D. You have to be careful and cognizant of the things that you are saying. And part of that is healing and knowing how your mouth and your mind and your heart work in unison. And
absolutely.
If you're gonna do it and you're gonna be a safe place, you have to recognize that. Even I had to recognize that I used to say some very weird stuff, not meaning it in a bad way, but people not knowing me and not knowing how I work took it in a bad way. And I had to immediately apologize and say, I'll correct my behavior. But support can come from anywhere. And you just have to pay attention and be supported. Like, support someone in the same way you want to be supported.
Absolutely. That's true. That is so true. I think within all families, we have those individuals in our family that we often don't see eye to eye with, or they don't get us. And often as parents, you want to see your child reflected in your eyes as you want to see them. And you don't really accept them for who they are. Not all, some. And when that child doesn't meet your expectations, then you're let down. And I think we often don't realize that it's our expectations that actually are out of line with who they are being authentic. And it's our problem as parents, not their problems as kids and young adults growing up. I think it was the poet Kilbron, and I'm paraphrasing, that said something about, they come from us, but are not of us. And that's a horrible paraphrase. But I get that, they come from our bodies, but they are not of us. And we have to bring them up and trust that once we're done, life and experiences, and you being the parent is going to guide them. But we need to stop really pressuring our kids and stop looking at them through our lenses. What is that, Miss T?
You know what that is? A lot of times our parents try to relive their lives through children. They're trying to relive the lives that they couldn't have. So they tend to put a lot of pressure on their children to follow a certain way, whether it's a societal way or whatever. And I didn't really think about that until like a certain time when I was in college. And I think this is kind of parallel related, but not really. My mother wanted me to go into a sorority. And when I was thinking about it, it wasn't a sorority that she wanted. So she was against it. And I was like, if I can't do what I want to do, I'm not doing it at all. It's a very terrible parallel now that I'm thinking about it in retrospect. But with what is going on with Mr. Carmichael, is his mother is trying to see her life through her son, what she would have wanted to happen. At least that's what it seems like in my head. And now that it's not happening, she feels a certain way about it. So she has to lean on what was stability for her, which was her faith. And a lot of times, especially with older Christian adults, they tend to lean on their faith further and harder as they get older because it's all they know. And that can put a lot of rifts in their family because they're not willing to step away. But you got to remember, your faith is all about what's in your heart, not what's in a book. The book is guidelines, I think but the guidelines don't always match up to what happens in real life.
Am I a Christian? I always tell people I'm a spiritualist. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. Do I believe in the institution of going to a church? Not always, no. I think I can, and the ministers are going to come at me for this one, but I can celebrate in my home or in the car. But I do believe that being around like-minded people does help you as a community build and have a stronger faith. It helps you to have someone to talk to. But I do believe from a spiritual level, I can worship and praise as well at home or in a church, But I do believe that being in that community around like-minded people does help you, have more friends and family in the faith. I think that's very beneficial because that's really, a church is the community. I mean, let's be honest, it's church community. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I think you guys follow me. So hopefully, let me go back to the thing. Hopefully his mom can, find it within herself to really see him and appreciate him for who he is and take out her shame and guilt out of the equation and love and accept him, because that's what all of our children want. I think it was one of my clients' daughter that said, if I tell my mom what I'm really doing or what I'm really about, she'll be ashamed of me. She'll judge me. And actually, when I talk to the parent, she says, no, I'm not going to shame her or judge her. I just don't want her to keep secrets from me. That makes me worry. So I believe as parents, our kids do want to protect us. They do want to honor us as their parents. And so they sometimes may live a lie just to please us. But I think that we have to break that generational legacy down and accept our kids for who they are and let them be who they want to be. So we're rooting for you, Jared. We hope you and your mom get it all figured out. Bless his heart.
Yeah, that's kind of rough. And speaking of people who are living in their truth, have you guys heard of the Brazilian model?
Oh my.
Yeah. So technically he's not married because, polygamy and bigamy, I don't think are legal in Brazil, but he has a union with 9 other women. And so he is Arthur Urso. I believe I'm probably not saying that correctly, but anyway, he is a Brazilian model and swinger.
Wait a minute, Miss T,
and
is he a swinger
he's with
or
9
a
women,
singer?
and he's trying to keep a schedule to
That doesn't sound like okay.
Swinger.
I'm glad you said it. No. Because I want to know how is that.
Did I say
so
swinger?
These ladies, I mean, these are questions you can just thumbtack. But do all these ladies get to have their own men as well? Because if so, then so be it.
You know what? That's a good question because it did not say in the article. But he is model and swinger because he's technically only legally married to one woman. But he's with 8 others, and he's trying to make a schedule so that he can be there to please all of them, and it's putting a damper on his sex life, he found out. Because he feels like, I guess, when you're trying to schedule a time with everybody in, it becomes more like, how you say, routine work, rather than in the moment.
I feel that's
so
a
you
lie.
Can't really get into
I feel
it like
that's
you
a
used
lie.
to.
I feel that's, as a Virgo, I feel that is a lie.
Listen, not everyone can have calendars marked with color systems and time schedules like some of you Virgos can, though.
Say my guy's got like 9 different colors. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I got wife number 5, 7, and 9. Monday, Friday, Saturday, I got wife number 10, 4, 7.
Yeah.
Oh wait, not 10.
It's
4,
not
7,
hard.
2, 4, 7.
And it doesn't
3.
take anything out of it because it's just scheduled time. What you've done is allot yourself this time to enjoy with this person. That does not mean you have to do like boring missionary sex, right? You're just allotting the time. But if you have 9 people,
right,
you
and that's
of course
what I'm
have
thinking.
to schedule
I'm like,
time
what are you
because,
doing?
like, let's be for real. They don't want you to pick a favorite. Like, stop playing with me.
And the funny thing is, this is what I think a lot of guys don't understand. Like the normal guys, the peons, the ones who are always like, I want to have 9, 10, 18 women that I can just go to whenever. Bruh, back in the day when, polygamy was a thing, the guy had to take care of all of them equally.
Exactly.
Most of them can't even take care of like themselves.
Exactly.
Like, how you gonna take
I've
care
heard
of
a
all
guy
these
say,
other people?
"Oh, I'm cut from a different cloth," and I'm like, first of all, you're a napkin. No, you are one of those.
But
one
what
of
kind
them
of
cheap
napkin?
ones
Is he like
that comes
recycled
apart
paper
into
napkin?
two
He like
real
one of them
easy.
like restaurant napkins?
Like you're not even a good napkin. And here's the thing: you're out here slanging eggplant. But is your eggplant that good that you can slang it like that? That's the question.
That's the question.
That's the question.
That is the question.
I'm assuming that this guy somehow he's doing the right thing, even though he's getting tired of scheduling his life, because these 9 women are still with him. But he decided to throw the schedule out the door, and he just gets with them when he gets with them, and he feels like his sex life is back to where he wanted it. But my thing is like, what about these 9 women that are tied to you? Because they, like I said in the article, it doesn't say whether they have their own partners in like a true polygamy sex,
polyamorous,
where they can do their not polygamy.
That would be polyamorous. That would definitely be
polyamorous.
Polygamous.
Thank you.
Polygamous. If he, you're saying if they were polyamorous, if they, never mind.
These women just ain't satisfied. Let's just be honest.
Okay, let's go. Let's go.
I'm just gonna tell the truth for shame the devil. They're not satisfied. They got the rose. They got the G-spot stimulators. They got dildos. They may got have double-headed dildos. I'm just putting it out there because I said what I said.
Do you think
they might just be disappointed because we're talking about people from a different culture, and in some cultures, depending on what their religious background and stuff like that, some women are just okay with not considering their own pleasure. If we think about certain cultures, it could go down to the point where they actually believe a woman trying to ensure her own pleasure is sinful in and of itself. So
absolutely.
Now, I don't think that's the case for Brazil, because this is Brazil, right? Yeah, I don't think that's the case typically in Brazil, but you just never know, it's Catholic.
Yeah,
but you just
Brazil
never know. There's always
Catholic.
offshoots and people who find their little niches and communities. So we never know if these are women that are just so dedicated to the idea, to the clout chasing involved with this man, that they may be putting their sexual pleasure to the side. I think it's possible, because what I do agree with Dr. Val on is that absolutely without a shadow of doubt, he ain't got it. Ain't nobody got enough.
No.
There's no animal in the animal kingdom that has enough to pass around that consistently and please everyone involved.
Quality. We're talking about quality.
Dang.
Exactly. I don't know why
quality
men,
over quantity.
I hate to tell you, I love
quality
my men, but I don't know why some men, not all, think that they can just go around and just please. I mean, it's really...
No, I mean, like, for a training for a guy to be able to please, like, women in general. Not like, like a psychological sense.
I have a training for men that help them to be better lovers. And it's a 4-week course, and a lot of men come to me, and it's a group thing where we get together and I teach them skills about understanding their partner, about understanding a woman's body. And I say woman's body, and I also have a separate class or a series of classes for men that are homosexual so that they can please their partner's body. But ironically, I have more men that come to the heterosexual one than I do for the homosexual one. I kind of got that figured out as to why. But nevertheless, I digress. They know another man's body, but they don't know a woman's body. They think we're all the same, and we don't. So men, if you want to learn about that class, go on to Swan Center. That's www.swancenter.com. That's 2 N's, SWANN.com, and learn about that class. And I'll put one up so you guys could take a look at it. But men actually come out like so empowered. I don't teach y'all how to have sex with like 9 different women, like y'all got polyamorous relationships, but at least you got some skills and techniques that you can go home and share with your partner. Anywho, we're going to move on.
All right. Yeah, let's move on real quick because we got to cover this Kevin Samuels thing right before we get out of here. So high value, because he did talk about high value men and what he thought was a high value man. So if it's okay with me asking
not Kevin
you guys,
Samuels,
what do you consider a high value man?
Agreed.
Damn.
You know what? I think there's old money and there's new money, right? Old money doesn't show off. Well, they don't show off with the fancy Lambos. They don't show off with the Rolexes and the diamonds and the Louis and the Reds. They're used to money, and they don't need to show it off. They pay for quality, but not because it's a label. They pay for quality. So to me, a high value person, a high value partner, for me is old money. Is that horrible to say?
No, because that's on my list too.
No, it's not. But, okay, so let me ask you. Okay, so you gave a high value partner, which you would consider a person who is of old money. But okay, so let's split this in two: high value man, high value woman. All right, so
high value woman. High value woman for me is obviously I love an educated woman. Love an educated woman. Don't care about size, weight, any of that. I prefer Black women with a big old booty. And
I can't imagine why there, Teresa. Yeah.
But for me, it's emotional stability. Are you taking care of your mental health? Money is important. Like, I like you to have a good salary only because I want you to have a comfortable life. And if we're together and we're working together, then we can both have a comfortable life because we'll both be working. But I don't go off of size or anything like that. Mental stability, though, is really important for me. I really need you to be mentally stable. Man. And I'm not talking about, you deal with depression. No, do you deal with depression by talking to a therapist and possibly taking medication? Great. Like, that's still a thing. Let's talk. It's not an ender, but I'm one of those people.
All right.
None of that stuff matters to me. I'll keep it short.
KD, real quick, high value man.
On a personal level, I really don't care about that stuff. I think
I love it.
Evil system that we're trying to take down. Otherwise,
exactly. Burn down the system. Eat the rich.
But I think that the definitions, I think they can totally vary depending on your culture, depending on your class, where, what kind of people you were around growing up. And I think that it's fair to have it much more fluid than these like standardizations that he kind of gave.
I agree. I think that when he put out there, she has to be and he was talking about women, right? He wasn't really talking about men, right?
They have one for men. Yeah, he had one for men. He had a very specific.
In most cases, it was women.
He had a very specific list for men, but for women, it really was just about being desirable. That's in short. It was about how desirable, physically attractive are they. For men, it's how long is your money? How old is your money? How stable are you, and are you respected by high value men of your peers? In short,
that was his kind of values, attitudes, and beliefs that he pushed on a whole group of people that fell for what he was saying. It's something. I mean, I get that part of it. Really trying to have for people to see themselves with value and pick value in a partner. There is nothing really wrong with that system. It's his delivery of putting someone down that didn't meet his personal values, attitudes, and beliefs. That was the problem. And I think that became problematic within the community of Blackness when he started pitting Black men and Black women against each other. So, like I said, I don't want to talk ill of the dead. We did talk about it because it's everywhere right now. But I see Miss T is saying, like, all right, Doc Val, it's almost time to go. We just got into this. Is it almost time?
It's time to go.
Okay.
It is past time. It's time. We got to slide out.
Talking about, and we did something we don't normally talk about. We talked about race and sex and relationships. So please do us a favor. Let us know what you think of this show. Good or bad or indifferent, because this was new for us as well. Send it to brownsugarconfessions@gmail.com. Make sure you go like, subscribe, share our YouTube video. We love you. We thank you for allowing us to come into wherever you are every Wednesday night. And you know what we say? Stay safe and play safe. We're Brown Sugar Confessions. We will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Brown Sugar Confessions on Power 1017. Go to our Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram page at Brown Sugar Confessions to like, share, and follow. Stay safe and play safe. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.